How do you teach learners who use English as an additional language effectively? What are the key things to consider, and how does it differ from working with students who speak English as a first language? In this video, we'll cover 5 key principles you should be using in your classroom and school more widely, both at a micro and macro level. Then we'll explore practical ways you can start using them today and why they are so important. I am Kamil, and I am a trainer at the Bell Foundation with over 10 years experience teaching learners who use EAL. We at the Bell Foundation specialize in educating teachers in best EAL practice. These principles I'm about to share with you have been written with the support of academics at the University of Cambridge and with contributions and insights from a wide range of EAL coordinators, teachers and trainers, all experts in the field. So, without further ado, let's get started. Principle 1 is multilingualism as an asset. Encouraging learners to use and develop their full linguistic repertoire is highly beneficial. For instance, before a lesson, your learners could watch a video or read an article on the lesson topic in their own language, or 2 learners speaking the same language in your classroom could brainstorm ideas in their home language first before reporting on their ideas to the rest of the class. Principle 2 is high expectations with appropriate support. Having high expectations of learners using EAL while offering them the language support that they need is beneficial to their learning. Multilingual learners have the same potential and cognitive capabilities as any other learners. You do not need to simplify subject content, but instead should support their English language development in your lessons. This way, learners using EAL can access the same curriculum as all other learners while they keep developing their English language skills. Principle 3 is integrated focus on content and language. Focusing on language while teaching subject content is crucial to the progress and attainment of learners using EAL. For example, you could focus on past simple tense in a history lesson about Henry VIII's wives, or on nominalization, which are verbs made into nouns. In a science or maths lesson, you could change create to creation and divide to division. Principle 4 is effective and holistic pupil assessment. EAL assessment builds a broad picture of the learner, which will enable you as a teacher to plan appropriate and targeted support. The Bell Foundation's EAL assessment framework for schools is an effective tool for this purpose, assessing the English language proficiency of your learners in relation to curricular demands, focusing on the different skill strands of listening, speaking, reading and viewing, and writing. Once you have established the proficiency band for your learners, you can use our Classroom Strategies document aligned with the framework. Both of these resources are linked in the description below or can be found on our website. Principle 5 is social inclusion. Including learners using EAL and their family in all aspects of school life improves their well-being and motivation for learning. It is also beneficial for the school. This means that learners should participate in all assemblies and any extracurricular activities. Schools can devise inclusive channel of communication with parents, for example, through translated letters or by using translation apps, and ensure support at parents' evenings and other events which might involve parents. There are a number of ways in which schools and education professionals can use the principles to improve practice. If you are a classroom teacher, you can bear the principles in mind when planning your lessons, ensuring that in your subject lessons, your multilingual learners' development of English language is supported. As all the Bell Foundation's suggested EAL strategies are underpinned by the key EAL principles, it is well worth looking at those as a starting point, as well as browsing our collection of free EAL resources, which make use of those strategies and therefore the principles. If you are a senior leader, you can incorporate the principles into your school development plans to write EAL or language policy, ensuring that there is an explicit focus on language development in the curriculum across the school. You can also use the principles to guide a whole school ethos centered on multilingualism. The key EAL principles also lend themselves very well to informing CPD around effective practice for working with learners using EAL. A senior leader or an EAL coordinator could do this. The principles are an excellent resource for initial teacher training, ITT, providers, training new teachers as they provide a succinct overview of what constitutes effective EAL practice in mainstream teaching. Learners using EAL have a double job: Not only do they need to become proficient in the English language, in addition, they need to learn the content of the curriculum, which is delivered in English at the same time. This means that they need to learn English and through English. Unlike many other learners in the school, they are bilingual or multilingual and might carry with them very different cultural understandings and experiences. Our principles consider the unique learning context for learners using EAL engaging with the national curriculum. Central to this approach is paying close attention to language development, both English and home languages, assessment, and school inclusion. We believe that schools which orient their support based on these principles, which take account of what is unique to this group of learners, for example multilingualism, and what they share in common with all other learners, for example the need for high expectations, will allow their learners to thrive both academically and emotionally. You can read more about the key EAL principles on the Bell Foundation website. Our website also has lots of free guidance and teaching resources for learners using EAL, which are informed by these principles. The principles are also woven through all our courses and webinars on our offer. We hope you find them useful and that they provide greater clarity about the distinctiveness of supporting the multilingual learners in your school and any schools you might work with.